4th, 2021. Tonight, we're going to the second part of flight systems. So that's like a continuation from last week, which I will give a little small recap for those who wasn't with us last week. But before I get into that, I like to discuss something going on in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Y'all should be familiar with that. After Jacob Blake was shot 7 times in the back, they had a protest later on that night. A little young white guy, decided to go out there with an AR-15. He's not even from that community, and wound up shooting and killing 2 protesters and severely wounding another. So his trial has begun earlier this week. You need to pay attention to that. Vigilante attitude, militia attitude, fairly above the law, which the law was designed for them. But we live in this country, we've been here for over 400 years, and this is what this is about. I'm not your enemy. We shouldn't be out here killing each other. This was written for, designed for us to stop this killing amongst each other. So this is an education, this is a lesson to help those understand the whole surrounding of this country. I'm a common person, so, but through my travels and my reading and study, I realized I can package something that can help others. And no matter where you're at, no matter what your state is, but I always recommend, you got to read this. You got to read it. You got to just humble yourself and read it. You may not agree with everything was written, but it will challenge you to understand life in America for Black people. Because some reason they inject so much, it's like mud in the waters. Matter of fact, let me kind of give an illustration about what I'm saying. Like if you had a big old tank that we can see through, like a big old fish tank that we can see through. And with that being said, now we can see everything on the other side of that tank, since it's a see-through tank, like a glass tank. What they have done over time is just start filling that tank up with mud, dirt, particles, debris. So once you was able to see straight through to the other side of that tank, to the other side of the world, whatever, they have clouded it. And basically that's what they've been doing. That's the playbook they use. That's the playbook they use when they do something that everybody see it with your own eyes. They tell you that, no, that didn't happen. Your eyes lied to you. You didn't see that. The January 6th insurrection. Oh, you didn't see that. That didn't happen. This guy didn't kill people, or Ahmaud Arbery jogging. We all been in there. I know I've been there. When I used to work early in the I think it was like 1995. I was working at a delivery company. I used to deliver like custom-made doors and stuff like that. So those in the Louisiana, New Orleans area, they got this exclusive place. Only very few even know about it exists. You probably heard the name of it, English Turn. So for the first time, I heard about English Turn, but I never had no reason to go back there. But I went to make a delivery, and I mean extraordinary houses. I mean, it's just immaculate houses. and some of them still under construction being built. So I want to go walk in there myself and look at it and see how these people really living. You know, I'm living in a nightmare. They're living in a real dream that, so I understand that. So for the brother be jogging and see a house under construction, you just want to go take a look to see how people looking and living. And it was tragic that what happened to him, which again, that trial is underway in Georgia as well. Now, why I mention all that? Because they coincide with each other. It's all the same. How the jury pool is being set in motion. They're putting more majority white people on the jury on both sides. Something like with the George Zimmerman case with Trayvon Martin, easy acquittal type stuff. Basically, that's what I'm getting to. But we got to get busy with our own work. We got a lot of work to do. We got to stop killing each other. We got to stop hating on each other. We got to stop trying to use each other, manipulate each other for our personal gain. That don't help. It never did. Just like we fighting every war on every tier. That's unfair. You can't win that way. They already stacking the deck against you constantly. Now we stacking against each other, the deck. So this is very important that we come to these points together. We reason together to get there together. So, all right, I'm gonna recap. I'm gonna go back to chapter 4, politics. I'm gonna get back to that this last week. Like I said, it's not a big book. It's really a short read, but in my personal opinion, it's a powerful read, cover to cover. And one day, I believe, I don't know if I'll still be on Earth, but one day this gonna be really a serious book that people gonna come back to. If they, it's just that's the way it is. But I'm gonna go back to page 29. Like I said, this is a recap from last week. Life, I'm reading from the book. Life in this country enduring systematic racism is the equivalent of being strapped to a guided missile headed for destruction. While mentioning the term guided missile, allow me opportunity to elaborate on it. The guided missile has 4 components, which goes as follows: target guidance system, flight systems, engine, and warhead. That's how this chapter has been broken down in 4 parts. Last week, system politics dealing with target guidance systems. You got to read the book. I'm not going to read the whole book to you, but it kind of explains a format, a section of America apparatus, how they structuralize the system that we live in. That's why you always wonder what's right to you is wrong to them, and what's right to them is wrong to you, because it's not a universal thing. When we see anything that happened that we all can witness with the same view and get a different opinion from what we all done saw, something is wrong. Something been fed to somebody where they cannot see what's right. So that's what basically how that works in that chapter, which again, all 4 of these chapters come back together, but break down like groups, like a food group, basically. Now, flight systems kind of deal with a different apparatus. And I'm gonna read a section of it and try my best to explain it. Well, hopefully it can help and also inspire you to support my work, because that's more important than anything. Because support my work put me in a category where I can start dealing with them people directly, not just talking. I really want a movement behind my book. I want to be able to change these systems around us. the conditions that we live in. Our communities shouldn't be the way they are. You know, too many people have came and gone and sacrificed so much. Don't get me wrong, we got a lot of selfish people, always had that, and something that we just got to deal with. But for those who care enough about the community, could care enough about family, who care enough about Black life, and not just talking it, those are the people I really need to connect with. And together, I know we can kind of like just get more and more people involved with changing the reality around us, where it won't be cool anymore to kill each other and think that that's what's up. I got a notch under my belt. No, that's cowardly. That's not cool. You know, like I said many times, I've been on the street, I'm so dope and all that stuff. Never kill a man. Pistol whip a few, but you know, hey, I respect life too much. Now, don't get me wrong. Even in my dark years, in my dark time in my life, I still respected life, even though I was doing wrong. You know, and more I did it, the more and more God dealt with me, the more and more He probably set me down to get me right, and I never looked back. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and turn to chapter 5, system flight system. Let you see how that looks. System flight system. Let me see if I can catch that. All right. Now we are entering into the second phase of our mission statement. Systems, I'm sorry, which is recognized as flight systems. This section will represent and demonstrate how Black people were locked out of the vital life savings and life building processes in this country because of the evil of hate and racism. It sounds like every chapter in my book was looped together. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Trust me, it was not by design. Remember, this system was created and designed to benefit the interests of white people. I'm talking about the system that we live in. And I kind of like, before I even got into the reading, kind of showed you 2 trials that's going on right now, that how they already stacked the jury pool to benefit the killers on both sides in 2 different states. Same playbook. That is why, as a collective, it is so difficult for Black and brown people to advance their current conditions. However, on a different note, individual success was allowed to Black and brown people for centuries, but their success was always met with particular restrictions. Now, that's just my personal belief. Now, with that saying, like when a Black woman or man achieve this American dream, I always personally, again, this personal, I always wonder why they never really spoke out. I'm not calling names, but you know, y'all see it for yourself. When you get to this plateau, you get so high, you come from all the conditions that some of us trapped in for generations. Some of us just trapped in for generations. Now some of us kind of crawl out, you know, like be on one little level, but cross to the next level. And maybe it take another generation or 2 to get to another level. But some of them have come in one generation and achieved this American dream, but never come back and truly like come back with open heart, open pocketbook or wallet to see what can really be done to cure the condition that we've been trapped in. And I always wonder why a few of them don't even get together, even if like a few people from this part of the country or this particular state or particular city have made it. Why they don't congregate, talk about it? Hey man, look, I'll put up this, you put up that, and we'll get some other people that's involved that more we can allocate the money to this, that, and the other, whatever. And I always wonder about these things, why this can't be achieved. what's behind the success. I never made it that far to see what's behind that curtain, that control, or maybe if it's not being controlled, that seem like it's being controlled. So, Pastor Kevin, you all right? Yeah. So that's just been my personal um, belief to wonder why, when you get to these levels, that you can't come back to your own people. You know, I guess I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but one day maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But nevertheless, this chapter, it just kind of break down. It breaks down uh, like hmm, almost like the beginning of America for Black people. That's what this chapter does. When we when our ancestors arrived here, uh, they the acclimation, getting uh, introduced to American life for them. Generations later, how that transformation kind of like spills into where we at today. You know, it's like it kind of breaks it down. And like I say, I don't want to kind of like read everything to you. That's why you kind of like, you really got to get this book. You really got to get it. It just, it's fascinating in its own right. It's not like any other book. It's to the point. It's real. Um, I'm very impressed with the book itself. It's just it's a home run. It's a home run, and any brother and sister that just in that space, they're in that space, and kind of like going through some things and can't understand certain things, and they blind you with a lot of the stuff that they have, and sometimes they even get us to be the recipient, to bring it to you, be the middleman. Um, and I mean, the things that you think is real is fake, but they present it in a real way because they got a lot of people that bought into that. That's subliminal, but I just said that's subliminal. But that's the American life for you. You know, real black people, black men and women, they know. But some of them, they caught up in that system themselves, and knowing that is a fake system. And that's from all the systems that the American white man have given us. It's fake. It's false. It's phony. And under that system, millions of black lives been crushed. Period. So it's just it's real, man. This is a real thing that we deal with daily. You know, you work harder than everybody. You more gifted, more smarter than the person on the job, but they'll still put somebody above you that not even qualified. This is generational stuff. Um, you qualify for a loan. Um, you able to get that loan, but the red tape they'll run around, and the interest rate, even if you have the perfect credit score and all this stuff here, you qualify to buy a house in a section that you feel to be, I guess, a safer section, a more profitable section, whatever that reason may be. The game has been always stacked against us. The few that make a little money, they kind of know that. The ones that struggle every day, they kind of know that. But we all got to deal with this. So what this is about, I believe that enough is enough. We got to find a way. I don't give, like, Farrakhan was kind of close. I think it was in 95, called a Million Man March. I think it was 1,000,000+ black men. I wasn't able to go at the time. I wasn't financially able to go. I think I was 2 years removed from prison at the time. But I watched it on C-SPAN. I watched it on C-SPAN, and that was a moment that we could have really moved the needle, in my opinion. You know, brothers responded, and just like the ones who didn't make it to Washington, they probably did like me. They probably watched it on C-SPAN. To see all them brothers out there, as far as I know, with nothing happened negative. They came together in unity. So I know we can live in unity if we got truth, true truth, not fake truth, not false truth, true truth. We can live in unity. That's a lie. They didn't say that we couldn't. I know we can if we have the right truth, the resources, and the tools. We can do it, and we can build because it's inside of us. Once we get to that truth that I'm speaking about. But anyway, the Million Man March was a brilliant thing. It was a beautiful thing. When I watched it on C-SPAN, to see all them brothers in unity, you know, I was there in spirit. I couldn't be there physically, like I said earlier. But that's what my aim is. Ultimately, is where we can, but we all got to be ready to sacrifice. It's the only way we got to make this man listen to us. The system listen to us. They ain't gonna listen to us if I go to them because I wrote a book. They ain't gonna listen to them if you go to them because of whatever your reason is. But we get about, if they had 1,000,000 men, we get 10 million, 20 million black people decide to say one day just don't go to work. We sacrifice. If it take 1 day, 2 days, whatever it take, something like Dr. King them did, we get to that point where we unify. We unify and demand what we actually want. We got to get to this point in this country. I don't know about y'all. Now, I don't know how true this is, but they say it was reported that the American paid the Mexicans for separating their families millions of dollars. Now, I don't know how true it is, but that was reported. Now, think about that for a second. I'm not advocating that I'm about separating people's family. No, that's not. I'm not about that. I just told you earlier, I'm about family. But regardless to the fact, I mean, they got rules, they got laws. You came into the country illegally. That's the risk that you took. I'm not saying that they should have separated the families. I'm not saying they should have did that. They should have kept them together and they pulled them together, whatever they had to do. You know, but regardless of the fact, now you're paying them for this. We suffer the greatest crisis in human history in this country, black people, and still suffering from that crisis to this very day. This not no opinion. This a fact. And we allow it. We don't want to do nothing about it. Instead of, we take our anger and turn it on each other every day, every generation. I'm not telling y'all to get guns, let's go killing people. I didn't say that. But I'm telling you, I told you, I say Dr. King. If we got to unify, get in touch with each other, talk about this thing, get more alliance around this country. Millions and millions of us decide not to go to work. If it take a week, not going, shut it down. So they about money. They sell their soul for money. They got us in the same mold. I got bills too. But guess what? For the advancement of our people, for real, that's what it'll be. That's what they got to take, man. They're the ones, we can't get away with going, get guns and fighting these people. We can't do that. That's why when I say y'all cowards killing each other, because y'all know better not to play with them people. Y'all know better not to play with them. They already injected that in what they'll do to you. Not only do to you, but they'll come do to your family, your mama, your daddy, your grandmother. They ain't had nothing to do with it, but they'll kill all of them, straight up. And y'all know that, because they didn't put that in y'all already. They let you know that. They show you that every day. So no, I'm taking a practical, tactical approach. They can't come kill us for that. And if they do, then we got to take up arms. If we're gonna die, we just better go down and fight. Straight up. I'm saying let's not go to work. If we get to a point, we all got to communicate this across this nation. Black people. I'm talking the working poor, the ones who working every day now. They got to take this more serious than what we are. You see what they're doing? Look at them. They take these young boys, and I'm not hating on the young. I got young dudes, young sons, and all that. Take them, put them way up there, because they rap or whatever they do. Parade them around the world if they gay or whatever they're doing, you know. But they got real people out here working every day. They ain't getting nowhere. Barely making it. Don't have health care. Can't even afford a decent life for working every day. With them other people able to advance themselves, move from one place to another. Some people coming from the country, from another country, coming here and advancing themselves. Matter of fact, I think I was on Facebook the other day. I'm probably won't be able to say this verbatim, but it was something about Jews on this, Arabs on gas stations, Indians on casinos, with blacks on, something like that. So I said, and I wish I can remember how I said it, but I'm gonna try my best. I said, well, that's a simple question, and you can get a simple answer, but it won't be a real answer because the question is more loaded than what it sounds. Now, that's how I kind of presented it. But then I went on to say something like, if black people was given the same chance, these folks that you said earlier, the so-called Jews, the Arabs, and the native people, they always get a real chance. We still to this day fighting for voting rights. They're not talking to nobody else but us for equal chance to sit at the table, for to control our own community, to have our own people policing our community. Because if we got our own people who grew up in them communities policing the community, when they see Joe, Sam, Buckwheat, Hucklebuck, whoever, they know such and such got a mental problem. They know how to talk him down. They grew up with him. They know him. They ain't gonna kill him because he going through an episode right now. So this what this all about. Having our own. Stop depending on these people. You know, like I said, we got enough. We've been here now over 400 years. We done proved that we smarter, stronger, faster. But now it's about really getting in touch with the God of our ancestors. Stop playing around with them people and their version of God. I know y'all don't want to hear it, but it's the truth. The more y'all play around with them, the more our people gonna suffer. It's almost like our ancestors made a covenant with God, and they done broke that covenant. We don't even know about that covenant, so we suffer under that same covenant. We want to be friends with the enemy, but don't want to be brothers with our brothers. That don't make sense. What you mean, Troy? What are you talking about? Before our ancestors came to this country, who were they? Because for some reason, nobody would talk about that. Nobody want to discuss that. The only thing they want to go back to slavery. That's it. That's not our beginning. Through my research, and you can tap here, tap there, and you'll see. And look, I told you, look, you can take all the colors and mix them all together, and they're all gonna come dark. Every color on earth is still gonna be a dark color. So that's scientific fact. The genetics inside of you, the melanin inside of you, everything date back. Everything is dominant inside of you. But the thing is, it makes it so complicated to live, especially in this country and around the world too, as well. That these facts is not important. What's important is women shaking their ass, smoke marijuana, get money, get my car clean. How many women you got? How many men you have? Whatever. I don't know. But the truth is, if we come to this conclusion and want to know, who am I? Everybody can go, what that little test is. They got this test that you can take and trace your history. And didn't confuse ours so bad by mixing everything up in ours and then telling us, our ancestors were slaves. Half of us don't even have no clue. But we greater people than that. We greater people than that. Then I'm kind of like my studies. So this ain't no reflection on nobody else. This is my studies. I didn't write about it in this, but I'm gonna share it with you. I was confused myself about too much stuff. Even when, my days in prison when I was younger, I was like, I walk in there and I look around, none but black people in here. What the hell going on? Young and old. What the hell going on? We don't want doing wrong out there? But I had these episodes that took place in my life that forced me to start learning, reading, and studying. Then, I start taking bits and pieces and stuff. I think I kind of mentioned this in here. It's like what they did. They took a jigsaw puzzle and went in an airplane with it and just dropped the pieces everywhere. So that makes it so difficult for us to find out who we are. So we got to go pick up every little piece that was dropped in the airplane and put that puzzle together. That's how difficult they made life for us in this country. To keep you off balance, if you don't know who you are, yeah, it's easy to kill one another. It's easy to hate one another. Easy. But if you know you are, you'll never do that. You'll never do that. That was my change. That would help me change. There was people around me praying for me. There was people around me talking to me. But all that probably played a role. But when I started learning for myself, when I started putting this thing together myself, it transformed me to not do these things I used to do. I'm still being worked on. I'm not perfect. I don't want to sound like that. But naturally, I don't do none of the things I used to do. You won't catch me on the streets no more doing no crazy stuff. You see me out there, I'm talking to somebody in a positive way, letting them know what they can do what they have to do, and they're gonna be sacrificed, but you gotta learn, you gotta discipline yourself, blah 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 blah, yada yada. But anyway, back to what I was saying. My discovery was, I believe that we that 12, that one of them tribes from God, black people. So just no offense to white people, Mexican people, any other people, black people. That's what I'm speaking of in this country. That's what I'm speaking to. And if everybody like to reference the Bible, and I'm gonna lead you right back to that Bible for what I gotta say. Since there ain't no black and white thing and all this stuff here is this and that and the other, that's the confusing part. I'm gonna make it simple. I believe that God told us, our ancestors, to get out of Israel, get out of Israel. The Romans coming to kill. So we fled, all of us, all the tribes fled. Some of us went down to the south part of Africa, north part of Africa. But when we got down there, because this was the thing always on my mind, how can black people sell other black people to these conditions like that? It never set, even when I was younger, it never set right with me. Never. It's just never. And also, when you take into account that the white man just couldn't come through there like that and take us either. So it had to be a bargain somewhere. So this when my study kind of made me understand these things. So when our ancestors fled in these different parts of Africa, they got there, that part of Africa, wherever they went, it was undeveloped, prehistoric. And we start teaching some our knowledge and wisdom and the scientific stuff that we brought, gifted people. But the leadership in Africa was jealous. But the regular people, the common people embraced us, our ancestors, for what we was able to share and give and build and medicine, all the different things that we was able to do to 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 to, to build in that area and the other parts of Africa as well. So when the white man do finally came to trade, the leadership in Africa finally saw a way to get rid of us. Our ancestors finally saw a way to get rid of them. So he was able to start selling them into slavery. So in other words, see how everybody, no offense, I got a cousin. I got a cousin, and he probably hear about this, because I'm going to send it to him. I wouldn't even talk. He wound up, I think he went to Ghana. He went to Ghana. He was about, I think, 19. His name Brian, but 19, and it could have been a little younger. He started kind of like losing his mind to the regular people because he was a clean cut cat, had a little car, had a little job, doing this thing, doing well in life, and was potentially can move up that corporate ladder. But something happened where he stopped going to work, lost his car, walking around, hair growing all over the place, young, and this hair growing everywhere. And I'm looking at everybody looking at what happened to Brian, lost his mind, but he found this Africanness. So eventually he wound up, I think he's been in Africa now 10 years. He got a citizenship. He stayed there and he come to to the States no more. But again, see, that's the muddy water. See, I'm going back to the beginning. The muddy waters. They confuse us with so much that some of us don't even know this, that, and the other. Not saying what I say is true and right, but it was right for me. to understand the confusion that we live in every day. It helped change me and allow me to see. That's why like that part of the Bible that I was referring to earlier was very, very significant. And I think in one of these episodes I mentioned it before, 2868, Deuteronomy 2868. And it kind of like coincide with my study for what I just shared with y'all. And when you read that, you'll understand it and then connect the dots that I just shared. But again, like I said, they got other brothers and sisters have a different way of looking at things. And that's the confusion that keeps us off balance too. But again, see, that's the difference between, long as you're a brother about this movement, long as you're a brother or sister about advancement of our people, don't believe in us killing each other, don't believe in us always under somebody else's rule and all this stuff, because we ain't getting nowhere like this. We ain't getting nowhere like this. You know, always needing their money. All right, they got 32 football teams. They control them all. All the black players, they make millions of dollars, don't have no team. Why? Okay, since you done made all this money, why y'all don't come together and let's start doing something? And then all the other ones who make a little money, why we can't go build our own stuff together? But you ain't got to worry about us killing each other. You ain't got to worry about them killing us. Matter of fact, let's try to see if we can buy a couple of these states in America and build us a wall around it. But we ain't got to worry about them people. Yeah, that can be achieved. Maybe not in our lifetime, but that's something we can look forward to. Matter of fact, if anybody watch the news, they always call this an experiment. America, it's an experiment. Okay, then I got another experiment for you. Since we just experiment with our lives and everybody else's lives, I have something for you. Let's have a new way of doing business in America. Like I just said, this is a big country, 51 states. Okay, the gay people, they can have a section. The the racist white people, they can have a section. The people who want to live in integration, they can have a section. People want to live Africanness, blackness, they can have a section. Okay, out of that, okay, then how are we gonna get a president? Easy. With the different sections being set up inside of that they count. Everybody select a person that they want to be the representative of that section. So now we get that one, this one. So let's say it's 6 sections. This hypothetically using that for example. We got 6 people. So these 6 people become 6 presidents that they can harmonize and work together. And we probably get more done that way anyway. Because now you can't cheat nobody. Because everybody expect certain amount. You can count the census a little easier. You ain't got to worry about the voting system because everybody have their own system. So you worry about criminals, you worry about all that. We'll police ourselves. If we need federal help, we'll call you. But I doubt if we'll ever need you like that. Now we'll probably need you if we have a national disaster. But that's about it. Because I think we're living home in peace. Now, you want to visit us, you have to go to the right, just like any other thing. If you another part of America, you want to come visit us, you have to go through the clearance to come over there. Simple. You eliminate, then people can enjoy life a little more better, a little more pleasant. I ain't got to be forced to work around people I don't want to be around. They ain't got to be around me. Yeah. When my son or grandson or granddaughter doing something out there that they ain't got no business, be back to a community now. So they can be chastised, not only by me, by the community member who know better. And same go. And wearing your pants down with all your drawers showing. No, you can't do that no more. That's done. We live in a real community now. We cleaning all that up. Can't sell no drug dealers. There's none of that going on no more. That's dead. Everybody work to build our communities. But you ain't gonna stay there for 40 years. You better move up. Find ways where everybody can move up and retire. Fair system. We can do that. Because we're gonna learn truth, who we are, where we come from. That covenant that God gave to our ancestors. We're gonna learn that. No more slick talking us. Nobody. Politicians, preachers, none of that stuff. Day is gone. You don't have to have no revolution. We'll be in harmony. I believe that. Like I said, since the experiment not working for us. They're working against us. In my book, in the later chapters, I mentioned that they had a civil war in this country. And the people who went against the government, they was able to get their rights quicker than us. And we never even took arms against the government, ever, since we've been here. And all the stuff they done to us. We still trying to get our rights. So something must be wrong with us. Because them people went against their own government. And years later was able to brag and put up statues. They're the losers. They're the losers. And was able to get everything back as normal. And also, when Lincoln abolished slavery, and eventually our ancestors started building in the South, getting their own land without the 40 acre and the mule. I'm talking about just getting out there grinding, making it happen. Guess what happened? Guess what happened? Klan, KKK, sheriffs and all, start killing our people. So they fled to go up north, left everything, houses, land, everything, and it went back to them. They don't tell you that. They just tell you we're lazy. That's all they tell you. We're lazy. But the rules always been set. And every time we trying to catch up, they flip the rules again. Flip the game again. I'm exhausted from all that, me personally. That's why I'm like this. I'm exhausted from it. Now I ain't thinking about me. I'm thinking about people coming behind me. Because each day we live, that's the closer we getting to the graveyard, all of us. So what we actually doing while we here? I'm trying to do my part. I'm sticking what I know best. Stop us from killing each other. That's not manly. It's not a soldier. It's not real. It's fake. It's phony. It's cowardly. You're killing another brother that really can't do nothing to you, but kill you too if it came to that. But y'all don't have to do that. Get other people involved. Half of the time, all y'all from the same community, and guess what? The parents know each other. Wouldn't you be surprised if y'all cousins? But all of it's structured differently, because like like I said earlier episodes, I guess the gangs out of California, the Crips and Bloods, when they came about, documentaries and all that stuff. Now, let you know that them people been behind half of this stuff. Imagine probably the same thing in Chicago, the gangs in Chicago, same thing. Some people have been behind that, instigating that stuff. And all over the country, when we just killing up each other. That's less they got to worry about. Because they're afraid, they're always afraid that one day we may wake up. So the less of us, especially if we turn on each other, that's like, think about it. That's like our ancestors when they got here and was put in these horrible conditions as slaves, start killing up each other. You think about that. Our ancestors as slaves, that don't make sense. So I know it don't make sense us killing up each other. So every week I come and I'm gonna give you the real. I'm gonna give you the truth. But I need you to support this. It's not about me making money. It's about me making being a problem to them people. That's what this is about for me. They've been a problem for us. And I know there's other brothers and sisters like me out there. I'm no better than y'all. I'm just a common guy. Like I said, I got tired of all this stuff and I went to God, talked to him about this. And all this, like I said, we live in, we all see things different. You know, I'm a more of a realist type person. Um, and I'm just trying to do my part to make a difference. And I just hope that I reach a few people that you'll change your life. Start studying, start reading, stop doing the things that gonna put you in the early grave. Stop hanging around people that gonna allow you to be in a position to get put in the early grave or go to prison. You know, we got to find better ways to do things. Talk to some positive brothers and sisters. You know, I know you got some troubles. I know you got some problems, but you can't deal with that alone. You got to open up. You got to feel you can go talk to somebody. If it's not your parents, there's somebody. God always got somebody. Cause that's my theory. As long as he's sitting on a throne, always got hope, no matter how the situation seemed to be. Now he's not sitting on the throne. We all got problems. Like I said, just want y'all to know, man, that this is real. What I'm doing is for the betterment of our people. I used to be a problem, and this is my way of paying it back. Getting on the front line, talking, getting on them streets, talking, reaching these brothers. Hopefully, you know, they'll listen. Hoping they are listening and changing their way. This is serious. Every day, these people trying to dial back the clock. And if we don't watch it, they'll try to put us back in chains. Seriously. I know y'all think it's impossible. Look around. Look around every day. They're trying to dial back the clock. We got to wake up and find our own plan together. Because you ain't going to be able to do it by yourself. I ain't going to be able to do it by myself. It's going to take all of us. Because guess what? That's how they've been beating us. They give you a few crumbs. Now you think you're better than me. They can't do that to me. They already know that. I'm not built that way. They know that. Trust me. They know this kind of blood run through my veins. They know. Trust me, I'm telling you, they know. People like me only come around once in a generation. So I hope y'all enjoyed this message tonight. I hope it resonates with you. I hope it's enough to convince you to change your ways, to take this everyday life in America for Black people, especially the working poor, a little more serious than you did before. My time is running short, and I always like to say this: Black love equals Black unity, creates Black power. And that's the order we gotta accept this in. But like I said, we gonna be able to do this. If it's not in this generation, the generation coming, that they're gonna gain their independence from these people. And they, too many of us are dying under their rule and turning against each other. See, under our own rule, we can teach the truth to our own people. And we can get along with other people better, but it don't make no sense getting along with you when we can't get along with each other. That don't make no sense at all to me. And like I said, we might be more close than we think we are. Remember, they did sell body parts, body members, family members all over the place, all over this country. Some of us might be cousins, closer cousins than we think, and we out here killing each other, hating on each other, mad at each other, setting each other up, using each other, abusing each other. We got to stop it. We got to stop it. It's the only way God gonna be able to bless us. We came here as one people. Don't ever forget that. We got here and it separated us and make us feel like we not one people, but we came here as one people. We went to Africa as one people. Put us on our ancestors on them ships as one people. Put them at the bottom of the ships as one people. Only now, through all the tricks and atrocities, have changed our mindset, our hearts, and our behavior. We're gonna gain this back though. That's how much I believe in God. And it's painful. It hurts. It hurts to see it daily. But I gotta trust him that he's gonna do a work. That he's gonna demonstrate his power and unify his people. But y'all gotta do y'all part. We gotta clean up some of this mess that we created. Even if it wasn't on our watch, we still responsible. That's why I say go back and read that chapter of the Bible, 28:60, Deuteronomy, and you tell me what you think. Who described who that section describes best? Us, white people, Mexicans, native people, the so-called Jews. Who that section of the Bible describe, in your opinion? You let me know. I seen us. And that's real. That's real.